Pretty much the mission of the Department of Small and Local Business Development is to ensure that the small business community has a level playing field to participate in the procurement process within the District of Columbia. But more important, it's also there to assist partnerships like the economic partnership with not just the downtown and large retail plays, but in addition to the small business community. So we try to do our best to ensure that we're aligning ourselves with the Washington, D.C. Economic Partnership, the D.C. Chamber of Commerce, as well as other traditional and non-traditional lending entities, so that the small businesses not only have an advocate as far as trying to get procurement opportunities within the District of Columbia, but in addition to ensuring that they're able to get their opportunities capitalized. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about our access to capital opportunities and what our focus is there, as well as give you a brief overview of the 4 divisions within our agency. Our agency consists of 4 divisions: training and education, certification, business opportunities and access to capital, and commercial revitalization. And as some of you are aware, we do certify businesses in the District of Columbia, and they're called certified business enterprises. And the hotspot for being a certified business enterprise is really to gain preference points, so that when you're going after district opportunities, you can get up to 12 preference points and 8 different designations. Our business opportunities and access to capital group does exactly just that. We have a business development team that really goes out and cultivates relationships, not just with the district agencies, but also regional agencies. When you think of DC Water, you think of the Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority, WMATA, and as well as the federal government and private sector companies, to ensure that the small business community has every opportunity to participate in any procurement spend, whether it's public or private, within the DC metropolitan region. Our commercial revitalization team does some fabulous things, because when you think of Main Streets and you think of Adams Morgan, you think of Barracks Row, you think of H Street, those are the areas where the commercial revitalization team is deeply entrenched in working with the executive directors from those main streets to ensure that the mom and pop neighborhoods, but more mom and pop operations, give those neighborhoods the things that make DC special. So for the most part, training and education, I think it speaks for itself. We do everything we can to work with small businesses throughout the District of Columbia to ensure that they're ready to go to market and do business. And that can be in the form of legal overviews, business development strategies, social media, as well as any type of lending, traditional financing roundtables, as well as non-traditional financing roundtables. The main goal for the agency with regards to access to capital is really just bridging the gap between CBEs as well as other businesses by providing effective education, training, and loan programs. One of the areas we really focus on: traditional financing institution, non-traditional financing institutions. And when I talk about non-traditional financing institutions, I'm really talking about venture capitalists, private equity, factoring, insurance companies, as well as private wealth individuals. And we try to position the certified business enterprise as well as the small business community to get them in front of the advocates as well as the decision makers that will position them to be able to move their projects forward. We also understand that when it comes to construction, that bonding is a huge play, as well as you always have to ensure that you're getting the proper insurance, so in the event something happens, you're properly insured. One of our big plays that we have, we began a 12-week access to capital and bonding workshop in the spring of '09. And beginning, I believe it's April 12th of this year, we will have our 3rd annual bonding and access to capital training program. The first 4 weeks center around access to capital, with the following 8 weeks centered around bonding. The access to capital weekly meetings, it is something that really is second to none. You get an opportunity to learn from banking professionals about managing your numbers, as well as when you get to the 4th week, you get to meet with the money people. And when I say meet with the money people, SunTrust has underwritten this program the last 3 years, including this year coming up. And what they do is they fly in their regional executives to come and sit with folks in the class that have prepared and that have put together all of their documents that are going to be necessary to decide what type of capital they would be accessible to them. And that could be something, maybe a credit card, or it could be something, a line of credit, or it could be a loan. But it gives them a sense of where they are. They may be ready today. They may not be ready for 3, 6, 9, 12 months. But at that point, then you can start looking at the way you manage your books. Maybe you don't have the right accountant. You know, maybe you're not presenting your balance sheet in the correct form. All of these things go into and what the attendees learn when they take part in that access to capital process. But the bonding weekly seminars, as I always like to say, you could pretty much show up with a blank page, and by the time you leave that seminar, you will have put together a business plan that really takes you step by step on what you would need to go to market and present your business. And that goes from business planning and management for construction, you know, down to why some contractors succeed and others fail. And what they do is we have different guest speakers that come in on a weekly basis to kind of give an overview. And these are subject matter experts in their field. What we found is out of the 18 companies, we had several companies that had been in business for approximately maybe a year or less, you know, get over $1 million in bonding. And Construction Bonds Inc. actually underwrites that. So it's a great learning and education opportunity for construction companies, even if they've been in business for a while. Our risk management group, our Office of Risk Management within the District of Columbia, actually is a company that sets the criteria and the statute for what the insurance requirements are for the construction requirements. And pretty much they look at the construction industry when setting the requirements is low risk, moderate risk, high risk, and environmental. And if you take a look, for the most part, general liability is required on all construction insurance areas. But there's also, you have an umbrella and excess liability policy, as well as automobile, workers' comp, professional liability, and crime insurance. And professional liability and crime insurance is if needed. But when you take a look at the moderate risk, it's all of the above plus builder's risk, and the high risk includes all of the above. The environmental includes all of the above in addition to you will need pollution legal liability. There's also requirements for the services and good industries. And of course, those requirements are a little bit less. But once again, general liability seems to be the insurance policy that regardless of what type of business you have here in the District of Columbia, you are going to have for your business, in addition to looking at workers' comp, again, crime insurance if necessary, and then looking at your moderate and your high risk. The District of Columbia also has a CapCo Insurance program, and one of the great things about the CapCo program is that insurance companies receive a DC tax credit against their premium taxes. The program began with $50 million available in long-term equity for new and expanding small businesses in the district. The program is managed by 3 venture capital companies, Advantage Capital, Enhanced Capital, and Wilshire DC Partners. The agency also offers a couple of more access to capital programs, one being the revolving microloan fund that is available to certified business enterprises. You do have to be certified through our agency to participate in that program. The criteria really revolves around you being a small business enterprise or disadvantaged business enterprise, and you have to have been shown to have been turned down by a traditional lending institution to qualify for a loan there. The maximum loan can be anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000, depending where your business is located in the District of Columbia. From a insurance and access to capital standpoint, that's one of the areas that the agency is really focusing on greatly, because Mayor Gray is really focused on the small business community participating in the procurement process within the District of Columbia, so much so that his mandate is that any District of Columbia procurement dollar that can be spent with small businesses must stay in the District of Columbia. And we're doing everything we can to position the small business community to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. The advocacy that we're receiving from the executive office of the mayor has just been outstanding. Just so everyone knows, my email address is antonio.hunter@dc.gov, and I'll even give you guys my cell number, so if you want direct access, you can just call me directly. My cell number is 202-674-2252. I know this is being taped live, but that's fine, because everyone should have access since we are public servants. Thank you for your time.